Italy basically invented motorsports. I'm not exaggerating. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, Alfa Romeo, the Mille Miglia, the Targa Florio, the Italian Grand Prix. This is a country that gave the world fast cars over 100 years ago, and it really never stopped. So here's something I can't get out of my head. If Italy invented going fast, why did it take them so long to figure out going sideways? One of the biggest drifting championships in the world only just got here, and it took until 2026. And the first time they tried, well, it didn't even happen. So I flew to Rome to find out why. And what I learned is that Italy didn't miss drifting. Italy was just busy doing something else. So I can't really tell this story without going back, like really, really far back, to 1907. The first Italian Grand Prix Brescia. By the 1930s, Italian cars were pretty much everywhere. Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Bugatti, technically French, I know, but it was started by an Italian. Then comes the golden age, the 50s, the 60s, Ferrari, Maserati, Alfa. They don't just compete in Formula One, they pretty much owned it. 2 Italian world championships come out of that area. Giuseppe Nino Farina, who won the very first Formula One title in 1950, and Alberto Ascari, back-to-back champion in 1952 and 53. So you want to know how dominant that era actually was for the Italians? Well, Ascari is still the last Italian driver to win an F1 title. Decades later, nobody's even caught him. But the crown jewel of Italian motorsports wasn't a championship, it was a road race. The Mille Miglia, 1,000 miles, public roads, Brescia to Rome and back. Open to anyone with a car and a death wish. For 30 years, it was the greatest road race on earth. Until 1957, when a fatal crash near Mantua killed a driver, his co-driver, several spectators, including children. The Mille Miglia was banned, and that era of motorsports was over. And while Italy was mourning the loss of its greatest race, something brand new was being born on the other side of the world. A guy named Kunimitsu Takahashi was sliding motorcycles through corners at speeds that didn't make sense. When he switched to cars, he brought that style with him. He didn't know it yet, but he had just invented drifting. By the year 2000, Japan had a national series called D1 Grand Prix. By 2003, the Americans had Formula Drift. And in Italy, the country that had taught the world how to corner, nothing. For a country obsessed with grip, it took a long time for it to fall in love with losing it.
We're going to Italy. All right, I'm pumped. Hopefully this works noise-wise. I don't know, I should probably turn my vent off. We're going to Italy. I'm on my way right now. It is 10:30 in the morning. My flight is at 1. Cutting it a little closer than I wanted to, but here we are. So a couple things I'm stoked about with this. One, I just got the track layout. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be shockingly a lot like St. Louis. Now, it's not going to be as quite of a tight bend as St. Louis was for FD, but I still think it'll be similar with like the amount of speed and everything else we've got. Tire wear is going to be a problem. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to try not to like make it, I don't know, I like to predict things, but I don't want to like get caught up in the bias that I'm correct. So I kind of hope that I'm not correct, but we'll see. Other than that, obviously a lot of new vehicles, a couple of new drivers, and yeah, I'm just pumped to be back. I love it. Flights to Europe are tough. It is pretty taxing, but it should be all good. So Orlando to JFK, I think it's 2.5 hours. I have an hour and a half layover, which for me is the perfect amount of time. Gives me enough time to like go grab a snack, maybe hit a lounge, I don't know, and then fly over to Italy, which I think is like, I want to say it's an 8-hour flight. So I'm gonna try and sleep. I got a new neck pillow thing called a turtle. It's gonna wrap around. We'll see. Yeah, other than that, I'm just pumped. I stayed up way too late last night playing hockey, which is good because I mean, hopefully I'll sleep. I don't want to sleep on my flight to JFK, and then yeah, I don't even think I'll eat the meal on the plane. I'm just gonna pass out. So super excited. Yeah, thank you again, guys. I don't know if this is a main channel video or a member video. If you're not a member, it's 99 cents a month. It's as cheap as I'm actually allowed to make it, and you get a ton of awesome content. I would have released the Grid Life video where you get to see me drive at Grid Life for the first time in almost 10 years. Other than that, let's get to the airport, let's get on our planes, let's get to Italy. And just like that, I'm in Italy. No real issues other than it took me almost 2 hours to get off the plane and into my rental. I'm in a BYD. I've never heard of this company before. The cool part is the paint on the outside is actually very close. It's a little darker to the interior of the drift car. So anyways, got about an hour drive to the track.
No idea. I need coffee. Ooh, that reminds me. I have an energy drink in my bag. But yeah, let's just get to the track. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. You gotta love it when you enter into a new country and they hit you with a fucking driving test to start. I should have recorded the beginning because like getting out of the parking garage, no room. This isn't even a big car. And this is how we're starting, so. Good morning, everyone. I guess in the light it's not quite as green, but it's the ATT02. It's actually not bad. I think it's a Chinese brand, if I'm not mistaken. But gas station stop. This is looking a lot more like Italy. Not that I've ever been here, but I don't know. Ah, that tunnel. What I do have to say is of all of the countries I've driven in, I really like driving in Italy. The fast lane is legit fast lane. People are very aware if you're in there and they get out of the way. And my only like critique is it seems like lanes are a suggestion. There's a lot of people just like straddling lane lines and stuff like that. I would say it's like as fast as Germany, but significantly less organized. Whereas I found like driving in Ireland, it can be pretty aggressive, but the slow people don't necessarily get out of the way. In Italy, the slow people are getting out of the way. Like they know what's up. So yeah, it seems like everyone's just a little bit more aware here. I don't know if courteous is the right word. Definitely aggressive, but so far I'm a fan. Yeah, when I was thinking Italy, this is what I was thinking. Hopefully this makes sense. Terracotta looking houses on top of hills. Show me where the vineyard is. About 30 kilometers north of Rome, down a quiet country road, there's a place of land that's been hosting racing since before there were cars. It started as a hippodrome, a horse track, built by a Roman entrepreneur in the early 1900s. By 1951, the horses were gone, and in their place, a tiny dirt oval. The first car race ran in November of that very year. Small sports cars, motorcycle speedway, all set up in the infield. The track was crude, and dust was everywhere. But it had something that was really rare. It was close to Rome, it was flat, and the country needed somewhere to race. Then in 1957, a man named Piero Taruffi walked onto that piece of land and decided he was going to make it a real racetrack. So before we go any further, we need to talk about Taruffi, because his story is the track story. All right, we have made it. Well, I've made it. Everyone else is already here. Just kind of getting the lay of the land. Pit space here is pretty tight, all things considered, but just trying to chat with everybody. Had a good chat with Clint Van Oort. Big updates on his car, suspension-wise, setup-wise. So hopefully some big things coming out of him, and see what else we can see. Drift Games, Shanahan's, Shrenko, Trinity. Interesting. I have to go snoop over there. Look at all the beat-up wheels. But yeah, definitely a little bit tighter of a space. That's so sick. I love that pop-out. It's such a flex to go full carbon and like not even cover it up. The Can-Am, that's bigger than I think people know. Damn, that looks so good. Oh. What are we using? What brand of chalk are we using? Hey, congrats on the new job. Thanks, man. No worries.
Welcome to the team, Rasmo. Yeah.
They put him to work immediately.
The email dropped in, he signed it, he sent it back, and they were like, hey, go
we got both the, hang on, we've got both the new guys doing work, yeah. That's funny.
We got the boss upstairs. He's like,
I know.
over there.
Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
He has a bell.
Yeah.
That's a big, I mean, that's enough time to rotate, but it's it seems both too long and too short.
But I bet you any money that we're going to be so surprised at how short that looks.
I know.
With a car on it.
I know, especially two. Man, it's going to be really, this is going to be fast. This is going to be stupid quick.
Well, yeah.
Look at it. Look, because like, if that's how they've got them arcing out, that's full speed. That's racing line all the way around. Yeah.
Wide.
And then that seems far, and then I guess we'll have to see what they do with the zone. It's, I don't know. I'm worried about tires. I really am. I'm really worried about tires. Yeah.
I don't know if now qualifying obviously is,
Qualifying's going to be nasty.
but I feel the battles are going to be decided on tyres.
Yeah.
If you've got enough wheel speed to keep good momentum, but not too much to blow off the tyre.
It'll be interesting because they have the choice, right?
Yeah.
So I would almost want to chase first, right? So that way you've got...
higher qualifier chooses.
Right. So I would want to chase first, so your chase you have the most amount of tire. And then in your lead, like, it's whatever's left.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. That's neat. It's also stunning country out here. I can't wait till that thing's done. Is that done? That building doesn't look complete for some reason.
No, that probably is.
Yeah. Piero Taruffi was born in Rome in 1906. He started on motorcycles. He won a 500cc European Championship in 1932. And in 1937, he hit 274 kilometers per hour on a Galleria, briefly holding the motorcycle speed record for the time. Then he decided to switch to cars. He drove Formula One for Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Mercedes, Maserati, and Vanwell. That is a massive list. In 1952, he won the Swiss Grand Prix and finished third in the F1 World Championship behind Ascaria and Ferrini, the two best Italian drivers alive. But Formula One wasn't his obsession. It was the Mille Miglia. He chased it for over a decade. He crashed, he broke down, he came in second, fourth, and he came nowhere at all. And every year, he decided he was coming back. In 1957, at 50 years old, driving a Ferrari 513S, Taruffi finally won. The very last Mille Miglia ever held, the one before they banned it. The story goes that his wife had made him promise if he ever won, he'd retire. And, well, he did, right on that spot. The press called him the Silver Fox for his hair, his calmness, his ruthlessness behind the wheel. And he spent the rest of his life designing race cars and consulting for Ferrari. He passed away in 1988. But before all of that, between his Mille Miglia obsession and his Swiss Grand Prix win, Piero Taruffi did one more thing. In 1957, he was hired by the Automobile Club of Rome to redesign a tiny oval 30 kilometers north of the city. It's Italian.
He's an American. I'm Canadian.
Just don't give a shit if you're Canadian.
He's up there. He's in there.
The meme of what's his name, DJ Khaled.
No, he didn't say. He just said find somewhere else.
Did he get a spot?
Are you taking the piss?
The parking lot is full, guys. This vacation to Europe is not what I thought it was going to be. Europe just looks very European.
I love that people watching.
I can't put my truck anywhere in Europe.
I love that people watching this would have no idea why this is funny.
Guns! They're selling guns in that store.
Look, we're in Italy. Once again, feels like Italy now.
Well, you feel like you're in Italy now?
I feel like
you
I
did
am,
some
yeah.
really tight, narrow European streets.
Now I feel good.
Oh, hello.
So we actually driving cars through this?
Apparently.
Can you imagine just sitting there having, oh, it's Lori Heinenen's crew, never mind. I was like, imagine having like a nice tidy lunch and then someone drives through. It's like, well, loudest car on grid, yeah. Here we go. That is definitely fitting. Wild. Absolutely nuts. December 1st, 1957, the new circuit opened with the Esso 6-hour. I didn't know Esso was around at 57. A year later, the track became the home of Italy's first racing school, run by a man named Nino Farina, the first F1 world champion. Ascari's biggest rival, a driver that Taruffi had raced against his entire career. By 1963, the track had doubled in size. They blasted away part of the hillside to do it. The new international circuit hosted the Formula One Grand Prix of Rome. In 1967, the Automobile Club of Italy bought the racetrack, and they still own it to this very day. 1971 saw major modernization, new pits, a 10,000-seat grandstand. The whole circuit actually flipped from anti-clockwise to clockwise, and that's the way we run it to this very day. By 2005, a kilometer of new track had been added, bringing its current length just over 4 kilometers with 15 turns, now an FIA homologated Formula One testing circuit. A track built by an Italian legend, owned by the Italian Motorsports Authority, and used by F1 teams to develop their cars. In 2006, on what would have been Taruffi's 100th birthday, the track was officially renamed in his honor. the Autodromo Vallelunga Piero Taruffi. So when Drift Masters arrived in 2026, they didn't just show up at any racetrack. They showed up at one of the most decorated venues in Italian motorsports history. Which brings up the obvious question. How did they get there? How did Italy go from no drifting culture at all to hosting one of the biggest series in the world? The answer starts with a single guy who was watching videos in 2003. All right, got my hotel room. It is, it's a little more Spartan than maybe what a lot of people will be used to, but check out that view. That is incredible. Yeah, other than that, ooh, sit down shower, say less. Is it delicious?
Very good.
Is it?
Very good. Me like.
Me like.
Pizza in Italy is good.
It's like significantly lighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you Americans have like the heaviest pizza ever.
You
like-
Americans.
It's like chewing a cardboard box.
No, this is really good.
We'll send it to everybody to the WhatsApp group because if it would be important.
Before we go any further, I want to take just 1 second to let you know about my shop. It's jacko13.com. You can take a look. You can pick up this shirt. You can pick up that shirt. One of these hats. We've got a ton of stuff. All of these stickers. We even brought back a childhood favorite in Pogs. We've got books where you can follow along with FD and Drift Masters. Posters of all the brackets from last year. We've got a ton of cool stuff. And even if you just go check it out, that would mean a lot. So check out the link down below. And if you feel like supporting it, it would be greatly appreciated. Now back to the show. Morning, Ian.
Morning.
Look at them all. It's like chickens. All just herded in the
Food bowl.
Yeah, all the food bowl.
There's no food.
No. It's a good view though. It's been up here with spotters and drivers. It seems to be outside zone 8 is a big struggle point, especially with this early group. Early group are like the newer drivers. We'll see as we progress through the day. And then after the hairpin in 5 is another spot, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is our view up here. A lot of the drivers are up here as well that are in the later groups. So we'll see. We're getting feedback from the drivers, but it's a good time. So I'm over with Dave, and like to show you guys the difference, it's hard to like explain, but they're like, these are obviously worn down, there's a little bit of alignment they gotta work through, but like it's sticky, it's actively sticky. So, flying through tires. So it's been interesting checking out all the different tires. Right now it seems the Tri-Aces are struggling the most, but we'll see. I mean, it's hard to say if the drivers just don't have the wheel speed right, but it's been interesting. Tire game this year is really, really cool. If you guys didn't know, the extremes are actually banned this year due to safety reasons because they're a recap. The concern is that the recap could come off and blow out the tire or blow out the fender and possibly have inconsistency. So yeah, it looks like a lot of the drivers that were running the extremes are now running Zestinos, and these Zestinos are very soft. So if you want to know, they are 07A Pro Extreme, and these have been sitting out in the sun, and like, to give you an idea, like they are very, like I can move the tread around with my finger. So to give you an idea, I don't know if they're quite as soft as the, oh my gosh, names escape me right now. Yeah, some of the other ones, wow, brain fart, but they are definitely quite sticky. It's the only car that actually looks military grade. That's crazy. He was a former racing driver, motorsports journalist, the kind of guy whose father was Tazio Nuvellari's mechanic, which, if you know Italian motorsports, is basically royalty. Tesini raced in F2000, F3, F3000. He drove for Maserati's works team in the World Touring Car Championship. And in 2003, he saw a video of a Japanese guy named Keiichi Tsuchiya sliding a Toyota 86 through a mountain pass. And Tesini thought, we need this in Italy. In 2004, he founded SCDT, Solo Curvo de Traverso, roughly translated to Only Sideways Corners, which honestly is the best name for a drifting school that I've ever heard. And he opened it at Vallelunga, because of course he did. By 2006, SCDT had launched the Super Drift Professional Challenge, Italy's first national drifting series. It would run for 8 seasons, dozens of events, and train thousands of drivers. The Italian drift scene had its first heartbeat, and now it just needed some heroes.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. In practice for Drift Masters, the way that they do it is the lowest ranking drivers currently in the season, it might be from the previous round now, but anyways, they are in their own run group, right? And then they kind of go up. We have 3 run groups, 14 drivers. So our rookies and lowest ranking drivers are our first run group. They actually didn't have a ton of grip in the cars. But now we're into the next run group, one section up, and they have way too much grip in the cars. So it's interesting, they're struggling more than our first group did. Look at how low. There's a little bit of a drop here, but not much. But that rake setup on Piotr's car is crazy. The front splitter is basically hitting the ground. Oh my crazy desk, and then there's Ian with nothing on his desk. Qualifying wrapped up, nuts, lots of fun. A little more hectic on the radio than I'm used to, but it was a good time. Shut up.
Oh my God, it's Jacob!
Oh my God! Ah! And now it's time for dinner. In 2010, a driver named Francesco Conti, fresh from the training in Japan, came home and won the Italian Drift Championship, then won it again in 2011. By 2013, he was the king of Europe's Pro Series champion, supercharged BMW M3, multiple podiums, the first Italian to truly dominate the European scene. Right along him was a driver named Diego Quaranta. The locals called him Il Gomero, the tire guy. In 2011, Quaranta became the first Italian to win a major European drift title. But with those guys were winning races, a different kind of Italian driver was building something strange, something that would change how the world saw Italian drifting forever. All right, it is competition day, and I think before we get started, Ian and I can go hit up downtown and let's check it out a little bit. We don't have a lot of time this event to go exploring, so I'm going to use as much as we can. All right, Ian. Candy shopping?
Candy shop, yeah.
Sweets.
The staple for Drift Masters commentary is local candy. So it's our hunt now.
Yeah, we're not the only ones. The whole group of us. Dude, they got the biscuit game on lock though. Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah. I know, it's tempting.
Amazing.
It's gonna be tough to make in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Pasteurized.
Like this.
Oh yeah. Or just bread. Just bring home bread.
God, I would take home all of this bread.
Yeah.
And just consume every inch of it. God. That and some ham.
Yeah. Oh, good call. It's tempted just to buy a hunk of cheese and just eat it all day. Big thing of mortadella. Jesus. You got yourself a cannoli.
I mean, man, I'm stoked.
His name is Federico Sceriffo. In Italian, Sceriffo's name means the sheriff. So everyone called him Lo Sceriffo, the sheriff. He started drifting in 2005 at one of the very first SCDT events. He drove a borrowed Subaru and finished in second. By the early 2010s, he was racing for Team Orange in Japan, drifting against Tsuchiya himself, the man who started it all. Then Red Bull signed him in China. Then he made the jump to Formula Drift in America, where he made a decision that nobody saw coming. He bought a Ferrari, a 599 GTB Fiorano, and he named it Fiorella. This is the only Ferrari in professional drifting to this day. Sceriffo became the most internationally recognized Italian drifter alive. He'll tell you himself, the goal was never just to win, the goal was to make Italy proud. By 2017, Italy was officially on the world stage. Manuel Vacca, two-time Italian drifting champion, and Riccardo Giottetti were sent to Tokyo to represent Italy in the first ever FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup. 2 years later, the FIA chose Vallelunga to host the inaugural FIA Motorsports Games. Drifting was one of the medal disciplines, and representing Italy in front of his home crowd was Federico Sceriffo, the kid from Milan who decided to become a drifter. Italy didn't just have a drifting scene anymore, Italy now had a drifting story.
All right, we're at the track now, doing a little tour around. I might have had too much coffee, I can't believe I'm saying that. It's probably the mix of all the sugar and stuff. I'm not feeling amazing, so put some more water in me and hopefully feel better. There's practice going on right now, and it seems to be pretty spicy. All right, before top 32, there's Conor, gearbox out again. He'll be all right. He's got to make it dramatic, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, just break the gearbox right before.
Yeah. Dave caught fire. I don't know what's happening here. It's a really cool setup. There's like stuff over here. Obviously this is the paddock. And then a whole bunch of fans. Right now we're on break, but a whole bunch of fans up there. And then that is the VIP area there. So it's a pretty cool build out. This is where spotters are. And then we're one floor down just below that. And then we've got grandstands over here as well. So beautiful facility. Like maybe one of the most stunning places I've ever been at racetrack wise. Yeah, super cool.
Let's fast forward to 2025. Drift Masters, the biggest drifting championship in Europe, had been to Latvia, Ireland, Poland, Germany, and Spain, but never to Italy. Well, that was about to change. The 2025 calendar was released, round 1, Vallelunga. Tickets were on sale, drivers' cars built specifically for this layout, hotels were booked, travel plans confirmed. Then, on April 21st, 2025, Pope Francis passed away. Italian authorities asked for the suspension of all public sporting events during the national mourning period. Drift Masters didn't have a choice. The Italian opener was officially canceled. I actually had my flight. I was packed and ready to go and received my phone call very early in the morning. So, the season opener was moved to Madrid, and Italy was left waiting. 12 seasons of Drift Masters, the series had been all over Europe. But in the year that it was finally supposed to come to the birthplace of racing, the country went silent.
So I've talked about it before, but something I took very seriously last year was learning to train my voice. And it requires you to do warm-ups, and a lot of them are pretty strange. So a lot of it to start off is like getting your lips warmed up. So it's like, and you'll kind of go through scales doing that. And the other one is going through some step scales based on different vowels. So like, and if you hear my voice, there's a certain spot that it breaks up, and that's where I did damage to my vocal cords years and years ago. So there's like almost like a callus or scar tissue built up when it gets to that frequency. So it's I should probably learn more about it, but yeah, something that I've got to keep working through to improve.
Do you think we should have introed
All right, all done. Well, mostly done for competition, but still got to go do the podium, which I very much enjoy doing. Congrats to Conor, James, and Piotr for an incredible event. I am exhausted. They have a cool down room here, which is kind of sick. I want to shove all three of them in a room and make them talk about their feelings. But yeah, night's almost done. Almost done though.
May 1st, 2026, just over a year after the official cancellation, Drift Masters finally arrived in Vallelunga. The track that Taruffi built, owned by the federation that runs Italian motorsports, hosting the biggest drift event it had ever held on Italian soil. 2 decades of waiting finally came down to this one weekend. Qualifying was chaos. 3 drivers tied for first place. Tiebreakers had to decide the order. Top 10 was separated by only a handful of points. One of the closest qualifying that we've ever seen. Then Sunday came. The crowd was packed. The Italian fans showed up in numbers that nobody really expected. The battles were brutal, the cars were on the limit, and tires were pushed beyond where anybody expected them to go. And in the end, it came down to two Irishmen, Conor Shanahan versus James Deane, reigning champion against the all-time great. Shanahan won, Piotr took third. The first ever Drift Masters event on Italian soil unfortunately did not go to an Italian. It went to an Irishman. But Italy finally hosted, and the world got to watch. There's a lot of people out here.
I still want to get sprayed. I literally just blew my voice out on Conor Shanahan. I was all good all day, and it went. You can hear it now. It's a lot raspier, and I lasted all day, and that was it. It popped it right there. But great weekend. We got to see which video looks better between the iPhone and the Samsung.
Exactly.
I know. Look at it.
Interview, 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Moment.
See, even when your job's over, Ian.
It's not over.
It's never over.
Another 2 videos to film yet.
Do you really?
Yep.
Oh, lovely. I'm done though. There you go. I love you have to shrug into it.
Italy didn't get drifting late because Italians don't love speed. They got it late because they were too busy inventing motorsports itself. And when drifting finally arrived properly at the highest level, it didn't show up in some random parking lot. It showed up on a track designed by a man who chased one of the craziest races of all time for over a decade. On asphalt that hosted F1 testing, World Superbike, the FIA Motorsports Games, and now the biggest drifting championship in Europe. Italy didn't need to win us all over on its debut. It just needed to finally host it. Because Vallelunga isn't just a venue. It's the answer to a 100-year-old question. The country that taught the world how to go fast finally said, okay, let's do it sideways. And in 2026 is anything to go by. It isn't the end of the story. It's just chapter 1. Thank you again for following along on this video. I hope you like this style of video, this mix of history and storytelling, along with what it was like for me at this event. I really appreciate it if you wanted to, give me a subscribe or just follow along, hit the notification bell or whatever. If you really want to support it, if you want to see this video early or see what it was like for me to get back home from Italy, you could consider becoming a member. It's only 99 cents a month, and it means that I can make more of this content and make this content better. So thank you again for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.